This is a trade recap for the Euro Runner and ES Runner trading systems for June the 22nd, 2012. Friday was a very difficult day to trade. It was the lowest range day, one of the two lowest range days for the ES in the last 8 weeks. It was one of the lowest 4-day ranges for the ES in the past 4 months, and probably one of the lowest 6-day ranges for the ES in the last 7 months. An extremely choppy day. It made for a very difficult pre-market morning. Going forward here, we have our first short here at 2:30 in the morning. It makes 6 ticks. The runner's brought to break even. It's taken out at 0 ticks. First valid scalp comes in here. It immediately loses 6 ticks from entry. Next valid scalp here, unfortunately loses 6 ticks very quickly as well. Next valid entry for a short here, upon entry, 4 candles later, gets stopped out at 10 ticks for 2 contracts. Pre-market for the ES runner was a negative 26 ticks, negative 6.25 points. In the afternoon, the regular trading session did make some small profits back. Most traders didn't trade that session due to the extremely range bound. The market didn't move more than 8 points up and down until about, I think, 9:30 in the morning. Market had moved about 6.5 points throughout much of the morning. For those that trade the ES often, they know that a pre-market move that's under 8 points is extremely range bound. And most days, the ES runner's done very well during pre-market sessions, has come out with profit or small loss. But this morning, that was not the case. On the 2-minute system, on Friday, the ES actually made 2 points instead of losing 6.25. We will be moving towards using the 2-minute algorithms in pre-market on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays, but not Monday mornings. We're going to stay with 5 minutes because the market is much slower, even slower than a normal pre-market session. Pre-market's a great time for trading. We've had a lot of profits in 2 months in the pre-market, even on the 5-minute system. But with the ranges getting bigger, we are going to move to a 2-minute system. It'll capture moves earlier. On a day like Friday, the 2-minute actually did better, making 2 points, but I don't think either system can really do that well all the time when a choppy market occurs like this. Going into the regular trading session from 9:30 forward, we stay out of trades from 9:30 to 9:45. The first short here was a cautionary trade. Let me move now to the 5-minute system, 2-minute system. Got to calculate bars. Okay, going back to 9:30. The first entry short was at 10:30. It's a cautionary trade. It had a move greater than 5 points without a 2-point retracement or wiggle in between. Based on cautionary rules, there's one rule set to apply when you see a C print here. You'll take a 2-point pullback on your entry, which traders in the room followed this rule. They made 8 ticks from that price here to this price down here. The runner was brought to break even. That got stopped out here for the cautionary trade. For those that trade 2 contracts on a primary entry, for a cautionary trade where you trade half as much, you would trade 1 contract, so it was only 8 ticks of profit made for some. Others who had more than 1 contract bought the second to break even. It got stopped out here. First valid scalp came in right here, and because the market, again, extremely choppy, a lot of traders did not take this scalp because the market was choppy. They did take this pullback entry on the cautionary trade, but for those that did take the scalp, they lost 8 ticks. This is a valid rules-based trade, so therefore I have to bank this as a loss. Unfortunately, offsets the initial quick winner. Going forward here, there was a long that was generated. You're to exit any trades that have a flat line appear in the first 5 periods, where a cautionary triangle will appear. Going forward, this triangle will show up as a yellow triangle. So when a long trade occurs and 5 periods go flat on the smart line, a yellow triangle will appear. And it'll probably be double triangles, 2 triangles. That'll probably be done this week to make it easier for traders to realize what a cautionary triangle is. Same for in a short. If you're in a short and the first 5 periods were to be flat on the stop loss line, a cautionary yellow triangle will appear. Likely will be double triangles to make it even simpler to follow. Otherwise, this trade was exited here for negative 4 ticks on 2 contracts. Going forward here, we had our first valid scalp. Traders got into this. It almost made, you're looking for 10 ticks on a scalp. Here it made about 7. And then on the first cautionary triangle, you exit your scalp or your sprints. You would have exited here on the open price. And that was a gain of 4 ticks. And then the next scalp came in right here. and that was entered here, taken for an 8 tick profit here. So the afternoon on the regular trading session, regular trading hours, netted 4 ticks for 1 point. So a very choppy, horrible pre-market, and not a bad afternoon. A lot of traders actually got into the sprint trade here. They didn't exit on the cautionary triangle. They wanted to hold this longer. Several traders made 3 and 4 points on this trade here. As you can see, the algorithms determined when the first start of buying would come in based on the first turn up of the stop loss line, with the stop loss line going from gray to white. This week, in the next couple of days, from the week of the 25th on, this will print as an S in purple for sprint right here. You won't just have to look at the rules, that is after 15 periods when the first turn up or turn down occurs on the stop loss line for a sprint. It'll actually print, it'll say it audibly with a sprint. So again, this made for many traders held this longer, but the wonderful strong things about these algorithms is when a first trade fails based on very cautious reasons, when you can get back in on a sprint or a scalp, when the algorithm first turned up right here, this was right here, the start of what was a 6-point move that finally broke the market out of their range-bound area for the entire day. This was the start of a very big move upwards, where a lot of traders called me and said they didn't just make 4 ticks, they actually made 4 and 5 points on this trade. That's up to their own rules. Based on the rookie trading rules, this was a 4-tick trade, and this was an 8-tick trade. Let's go now to the euro. The euro had a very bad day, unfortunately for the same reasons as the ES. I don't actually have, oh yes I do over here. Here's the euro, there we go. Thought I lost the euro chart for a moment. The euro is very choppy this morning, that morning on the Friday, the same reasons why. It had a first scalp, almost make 15 pips, missed it by a couple pips, so I can't bank that profit. It lost 15 pips here. First primary entry long, got stopped out at 25 points. It's either 25 pips or the stop loss line, the greater of the two. This trade here was not taken because news came out at 8:30. This was not a trade counted as a loss. This trade here was taken, it lost 25 pips. Got up to 14 before it fell down. This trade here got up to 15 before it came back and lost the 22 on the stop loss line for a total of a negative 159 pips on Friday. Friday was a horrible day. The day before, the Euro runner made 200 pips. So on the days after big moves on the ES and Euro, which the day before on Thursday, both systems made, the Euro made a tremendous amount of profit and the ES made profit as well. On big days, the markets move very big. The next day tends to be very choppy, and this is what occurred on Friday, so not uncommon. Thank you for watching the video so far. Both systems have had only 7 losing days out of 48 days since April the 19th when the service went live. Still a very low loss ratio, a very high success ratio, but on very choppy days, your success ratio is probably 50-50. Thanks for watching the video. Look forward to those of you that will come in the trial member, as a trial member, and see the room live. Thanks very much.